Alright, so I started filming this video earlier today and I thought I really wanted to talk about anxiety and motherhood and how that all plays together. So I thought I would talk about that, and then one of my friends on Facebook posted or shared a video of the Duchess of Cambridge speaking at an event where she was talking about mental health during and after pregnancy and becoming a mother. And I thought that's perfect, so I really want to talk about that. I really loved what she said about starting the conversation and how we can all help each other. I think that that's fantastic. So I will link that video down below so you can see what she has to say. I think it's great when mothers help other mothers. So I really want to start a conversation, obviously. I did have major anxiety issues when I was pregnant with my son. I'd always been kind of an anxious person, but I didn't have a huge bout with anxiety until 2011. I started to have panic attacks, not feel like myself. Depression came with that, and it was all terrifying. And I not only today want to talk about anxiety, but I also want to talk about medication, and the fact that, you know what, it's okay to feel this way. A lot of people do, and I think it's a plus that there are people out there who want to start this conversation, like the Duchess of Cambridge, who I think is such a classy, well-spoken individual, and I think her starting that and kind of forming this message of hope and care for each other, I think is fantastic.
Love you.
Love you. So that's pretty much the premise for this. I just wanted to open up a dialogue about this. Back in 2011, I did start having panic attacks, and I know sometimes panic attacks are hard to explain. The best way I figured out to describe it is your skin is the only thing that's holding you together. Did that help you when I explained it to you that way? No, it didn't help you.
If someone who hasn't experienced that, it's hard to explain.
So my husband's right. If someone hasn't experienced something like that, it's really hard to explain. But in my head, it makes sense to say if I didn't have skin, then my body would be going every which way when I had a panic attack. So in 2011, I noticed those things were happening. It was terrifying. I knew that I wasn't behaving like myself. And the big turning point was when I found myself having to force myself to laugh. And at that point, I thought, I'm not myself. So I went to our general practitioner, just our family doctor, and I told him that I was fine with medication. I just wanted to feel like myself again. And so I started on medication. I started on Celexa, and of course you have to build up. So I think I started at 10 milligrams, then went to 20, and then to 40 after about 6 months. It really made me feel relaxed and calm, and that anxiety and depression kind of subsided. A lot of people say they have side effects with medication. I haven't had a lot. There are times when I feel like I should cry, but I'm not crying. But all of my emotions are the same. I just feel a little more normal. And I use quotations with normal because I did see a family counselor, and I said, I just want to feel normal. And she said, at this point in your life, you've kind of taken a turn, and you might not ever feel like you have before, so you have to find a new normal. And it doesn't necessarily have to be normal. It can be whatever you want it to be, and I thought that was the best advice I could have received at that point. So with medication, I did really well. When I got pregnant, I was certainly nervous about it, and I had spoken to my doctor. We knew we wanted to have a child. I had spoken to my doctor about being on this medication while pregnant. And I talked to him, I talked to a psychiatrist and a psychiatrist and a psychologist. I talked to all three and my OBGYN once we did get pregnant. And at this point, there are different levels of anxiety and depression medication and how they affect a fetus. And my Celexa is at a level where they haven't proven that it causes any birth defects or anything like that. And my pregnancy went smooth other than morning sickness and a lot of anxiety. So when I hit 6 weeks in my pregnancy, my anxiety hit hard. And it was a huge flashback to 2011 when it was, like I said before, terrifying. The only thing that would really keep me calm is rocking in a chair or pacing back and forth. And that's a point where you just don't know what to do. You don't want to, the anxiety kicks in and then the depression kicks in and you don't want to do anything. My wonderful husband during that time, the whole time we've been together, which is over 10 years now, and the whole time we've been married, which is almost 9 years now, he has always been so supportive and stepped up to do what he needs to do to help. He doesn't need to be asked. And so, but I felt terrible at, being pregnant and just not wanting to do anything with that anxiety and depression that came through around the 6th week. Not to mention morning sickness. And I think a lot of people don't talk about how that kind of affects them. There were a lot of things with pregnancy and with childbirth, which I can talk about in another video, that people don't tell you. So at this point, I did go see a psychiatrist. We talked a little bit more about the side effects, and there was a possibility that of autism in a child, but that's very, very, very slim margin. And the doctors that I spoke to all said, it's better for you to be on your medication and be free of anxiety than it is for you to be anxious and depressed while you're pregnant. That all my doctors agreed that that's worse than being on the medication, because the medication is on the mild side as far as that goes. But like I said, I'm a doc. I'm not, like I said, I've said this before, I'm not a doctor, and this is something you have to speak to your doctors about and make the decision for yourself. What I'm saying is, and I think Kristen Bell, actress Kristen Bell, has said this, and I'll link this video below. Mental illness is something that we don't talk about as being a health issue. So, and she also says that if you're diabetic, we're not going to take your insulin away from you, and it's not a bad thing that you have your insulin and that you have to take medicine for being diabetic. Just like having any kind of mental illness, it's taking medication, if it's right for you, is perfectly fine, and I agree with that. Medication helps me to feel more like myself. If I'm not on medication, I'm not upbeat. I'm not the normal happy person that I am. Another thing that Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, brought up in her speech last week was that we need to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our children. And I think that is so important. Our children should be our focus, but we also need to take care of ourselves. If you take care of yourself and make sure that you're okay, then you can take care of others and serve others better. And that's something that hopefully everybody can remember. I think taking care of yourself is so important. Obviously, taking care of your family is important as well, but please make sure that you are taken care of. Make sure that you know that you are important and you are loved. And I also want to add that you're amazing. Whether you're a mother, a father, an aunt, a grandfather, a grandmother, anyone who is taking care of someone else, anyone who is looking after someone, making sure that they're okay, make sure that you're okay too, because you're amazing. And honestly, you have to make sure that you're healthy, mind, body, and spirit, so that you can continue. So I just wanted to have a quick chat. Hopefully that wasn't too long and too much of a rant, but I want to start that conversation, and I want to make sure that you know that it's okay. It's okay to have anxiety and depression. It's something that is more prevalent than you think. And please talk to someone. Please get some help if you need it. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, and be sure and give your babies a big hug, and your puppies too. And know that we're here with you, and we stand with you in this struggle, and we always will. So have a great day, and hopefully yours is a sunny one. Bye. Tempe, are you cute? You have a cute face. Hey, Tempe. Tempe's a good Tempe. Yes, you give kisses. Yes, Tempe gives kisses.